Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Deep sigh, staring blankly into space, slipping into that 100-year coma. My name's Jeremy Harper. This is Raising Howl, and we knew it was going to happen, right? It was inevitable. But honestly, I thought Bryan Hodgson was going to be gone last year after leading the Red Wolves to a Sun Belt championship final against James Madison. Yeah, I figured he'd go full McCasland, but he didn't. He stuck around and recruited another stellar class and made another championship run. But it still hurts, right? It still hurts. I thought it wouldn't, but it does. Here's the truth. I like Bryan Hodgson. He and I, we weren't like buddies. We didn't go out, drinking or anything. But we're friends. Exchange a few messages on the Twitter account. He's a good guy. I personally like him. Even more so, I like the team that he had assembled, especially this season, right? We really got to know those guys. We really got to appreciate their games. In a lot of ways, even their personalities. When you follow a team for a season that expands over 30 games, several months, you really just they become part of your lives, right? Yeah. Again, you're not going out with them or having Thanksgiving dinner with these guys, but, they're part of your lives. You watch them play. You probably watch some of us, man. We watch them play more games than we watch our own kids play games because we get vested in the team. And this year was like no other, right? Huge attendance. All that's over now. These days, when the coach leaves, he's going to bring the juiciest part of the team with him, and that's just how it works. Thank you, transfer portal. Thank you, NIL. Thank you, SEC and Big Ten, for making all that happen. Looks like it's time to take care of our sponsors. So let's do this thing. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for betting on all the madness. Even if your bracket is busted like mine, BetOnline has more ways to stay in the action with a free Sweet 16 bracket and live betting on every remaining tournament game. With the largest selection of odds on everything from college basketball to MLB, NHL, and MMA, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. It's mine. Hope that pushes you over the edge. From every Cinderella story to every hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here. Let's get back to the reality of the Red Wolves. Immediately following Hodgson's announcement that he was going to South Alabama. Ooh, I keep saying that. I keep saying South Alabama. South Florida. Immediately following Hodgson's announcement to go to South Florida, several Arkansas State players announced their intentions to transfer as well. And shockingly, two immediately found new homes. Two guys. Wow. New homes to the same place, South Florida. Joseph Pinion and Isaiah Nelson are leaving Jonesboro from Tampa Bay, which is a pretty big decision to make less than 24 hours before the coach announces his own departure to South Florida. Don't you think? Hey, I just got the job at South Florida. Oh, cool, coach. You want to come with? I don't know. Do I have a time to talk about it with my family and, I don't know, really assess what a disruption to my life this is going to be? Yeah, you got a few hours. No, I doubt if that's how that went down. It kind of makes you think that this decision to go to South Florida had been wrapped up for a few weeks now, right? But hey, that's just the grim business of modern college basketball. It's just business. It's not personal. I mean, we're asked as fans to make it personal, right? We're asked to wear the team colors and to buy the tickets and endure the parking fiascos and then go on the road and cheer and be positive about it. As fans, we're not expected to make a business decision. The players and the coaches, they can make all the business decisions they want now, but as fans, all we have is the emotion. Did Hodgson and whoever decides to follow him to Tampa Bay, did they make a good business decision? I don't know. Let's kind of look at that. I just assume South Florida has more NIL bucks because I assume most programs have more NIL bucks than A-State. I just assume that. We're not rolling in the dough. We're a very frugal fan base. That's okay. Actually, honestly, it shouldn't be up to the fans to pay these players. It shouldn't be up to us. Because we get pooped on all the time. We give money to the players and the coaches and the players will say, "No, we're going to South Florida. Adios." Some money. Yeah. Again, we're the ones getting screwed, but that's okay. They're probably going to have more NIL dollars in South Florida, Tampa Bay. I'm just assuming that. I don't know that for sure, but I assume that. Do you get in a better winning position at South Florida? The American, it's no longer a premier basketball conference. Yeah. I think in terms of net, some of the other metrics, it was one of the 12 top teams, but not much better than the Sun Belt. This year, the American put just as many teams into the NCAA tournament as the Sun Belt did. It was a team we beat. You recall us beating Memphis. That was the team that went to the NCAA. Both those teams bounced in the very first round. So let's not talk about the American being like a better conference. It is a little bit. I get it. Yes. You look at the net values. Yeah, it's a little better, but it's not much. Are the Bulls a better team? I don't know. They've made the tournament exactly 2 more times than we have. We've gone once, they've gone thrice. It's not like Hodgson's and friends are leaving for a program steeped in Victoria's tradition. They're just not. I mean, neither are we. I get that. But in terms of winning tradition, in terms of being placed to going higher in the NCAA tournament, they haven't really made a big jump or even a small jump. It's more like a hop. Now, Hodgson did sign a 6-year deal for about 7 million clams. Think about it. He's a young man with a young wife and a child. And that's a nice salary, the kind that enables you to provide your wife and son some nice stuff. As CEO of his own life, Hodgson made a business decision, and I respect that. I do. I have kids. I have a wife. If you have an opportunity to make their lives easier, to put them in a better position to succeed, you take that. That's part about being a husband. Good for him. So I say good luck, Coach Hodgson. Go forth and kick some ass. Turn that South Florida team around. maybe, I don't know, get even a better job coming out. McCaslin did. McCaslin went to North Texas. He's now at Texas Tech. It's in the Sweet 16. And that's kind of the good news, right? That Arkansas State isn't a place where your career goes to die. Two of the last three coaching hires are moving on for more bag and probably, I hate to say greater things, but certainly a bigger spotlight, right? Go forth, Bryan Hodgson. Go kick ass. Man, I don't envy Jeff Puritan right now. Nope. 2 years ago, filling the vacant coaching position was the men's... kind of got tripped up. 2 years ago, filling that vacant coaching position for men's basketball, that was the biggest test of Puritan's career at Arkansas State. He had just got into the role, just unpacked from Alabama, had to fire Bellato, had to put a new guy in. And he aced it. He had Hodgson on speed dial, man. Come to Jonesboro, make a bigger bag, build a team, maybe get even a bigger bag in a couple years. What else does he have in his phone? Got any other contacts? How many hotshot assistants do you know, Jeff Puritan? Puritan probably could have hired a bag of potatoes to coach A-State basketball, and the fan base would have viewed that as an upgrade over Mike Bellato. Yeah, it's not fair to Mike, but it's pretty damn true. Mike was not popular. People did not like Mike Bellato. Rubbed people the wrong way. Yeah, at least a bag of potatoes won't burden your team with technical fouls, right? But now the degree of difficulty elevates. Puritan goes from replacing a toxic dead duck to selecting the next Bryan Hodgson. Yikes. All Hodgson did was deliver a pair of 20-win seasons and the two best recruiting classes of all time. No pressure, Jeff. It's like replacing the Beatles with the Monkees, right? Jeff, you may want to start drinking wine with the donors and get chummy, because anything less than an atomic level higher is going to be viewed as a letdown. Is that fair? No. It's the reality, though. Reality isn't always fair. You brought in a guy that totally transformed the program. And now you've got to one-up that? Good luck. But don't ask me who to hire. I don't know. My knowledge of the college basketball coaching landscape is embarrassing. I know nothing. Is Coach K available? I don't know. What's funny is you go on a message board or social media and people just start banding about names. I don't know who they are. Who are these guys? Go hire somebody from a lower level, a coach with a winning tradition. No. Hire another assistant. No. Pick some guy who's retired. You can pick anybody, right? Here's my advice. No fossils. Go young and hungry. It worked last time. Didn't work with Bellato. Worked with McCaslin. It worked with Hodgson. Go young and hungry. I think that's always good advice. To me, that's always the safest play. But you know what would be a baller move, Jeff Puritan? I mean, here's a move that would make you a legend, not just at Arkansas State, but maybe throughout the Sun Belt and beyond. Go poach Scott Cross out of Troy. Yeah. We know this guy can coach. He did at UT Arlington. He's doing it at Troy. He knows how to kick our ass. Take that $900,000 check from South Florida and put it in Scott Cross's breast pocket. Don't even say a word. Just go. Maybe lean in and say, there's more where that came from, buddy. I don't know what Scott Cross is pulling down at Troy. I don't know if he wants to leave Troy. But wouldn't that be cool? Just grab Scott Cross. Get him. He's our guy. Scott Cross, really good basketball guy, right? You know, it's kind of bad all over for the Sun Belt, right? Yeah. I know we're supposed to feel sorry for ourselves. And believe me, I feel sorry for myself. My whole team is leaving, but you know what? It's bad all over for the Sun Belt right now. We're talking about Troy. Good old Tate and Connerway. We love him. He's in the portal. Bryce Lindsey from JMU. One of their stars. He and Xavier Brown, they're gone. Miles Corey from South Alabama. He's gone. So is Barry Dunning Jr., first teamer. I thought the best player in all Sun Belt. He's gone. Colton Benson from Texas State. Remember him? Guy was a three-point guy. He's gone. Troy also lost the Rigsby brothers. Lost Jackson Fields. Remember him? Put up like 5 3-pointers on us. He's gone. Georgia State, the usual attrition there. Zarik Nutter, gone. I mean, it's just a lot of guys gone. Coastal Carolina lost their big 7-footer. I mean, if you're in the Sun Belt right now, you're pretty much just watching all your guys go away. And it's been like that now for a couple of years. It's hard to root for a program when every year you have to rebuild. It's every year. Every year we have to rebuild. It's exhausting. Yeah, I'm sure other conferences have the same problem. Boo-hoo, I don't care about those other programs. I care about us. It was nice last year when, we got most of our guys back. It was nice because then you got to reacquaint yourself with the same group of guys and watch them grow and develop and become men. No, not so much. In the meantime, we wait. Jeff Puritan's got this. But he can't wait too long on the coaching decision. Red Wolves are currently filling the portal. And by the time you listen to this, I suspect more names will be added to the pile. Who's going to be the next South Florida Bull? Won't just stop with Pinion. It won't just stop with Nelson. Maybe it will. I don't know. Maybe those are the two guys he wanted. I don't know. I want to talk a little bit at the end here about Destiny Rogers and Sunbelt Women's basketball and the way they performed the NCAA tournament. Lost by 69 points. Okay, that's a lot of points. Arkansas State scored the first 2 points, and then it was pretty much over from there. But you know what? Okay. It's not a disaster. It wasn't a disaster. Some people kind of viewed it as a bit of a disaster. Not me. You're not going to see me go, oh, well, we should have performed better. Let me tell you something about that first round. LSU nuked San Diego by 55, San Diego State. North Carolina destroyed Oregon State by 21. Oklahoma beat Florida Gulf Coast by 23. North Carolina State crushed Vermont by 20. UNC Greensboro managed just 25 points. Just 25 points against USC. And then Texas punished William and Mary by 44 points. What am I getting at here? I'm telling you, the cutoff between elite women's basketball and everybody else is huge. There is a drop-off. Arkansas State in the Sun Belt, we were fast. We hit three-pointers. We played tenacious defense. Connecticut showed us fast basketball. They showed us how to shoot a three. They showed us what defense was. They certainly showed us height. 9 blocks in the first half. It wasn't just Paige Buchers. Yeah, they had a whole squad of just excellent ballers on that team. And I go back to something that happened in my own life to kind of find the silver lining to all this. When my son turned 8, he was playing upwards basketball. The league where you get a little scrunchie around your wrist and the color that you get matches the guy on the other side, and that's the guy you're supposed to guard, and it's supposed to be real wholesome and fun. But what we decided was that maybe he had learned all he could from upward, and that was time for him to elevate his game a little bit. So me and a couple other dads, we got some boys together and formed a team for the boys club here in Little Rock. We'd get our practices in and work on some offensive plays and the basics like dribbling. First game, I show up to the boys club and I'm checking out the other team, the opposing team. They're doing layup drills. They're practicing their dribbling, their passing. They've got plays. Very organized. Coaches out there with a whistle. Those guys are all business. Meanwhile, I look at my son's team. My son and his best friend are practicing their chest bumps. I was like, we're going to get murdered. And we did. We got murdered that game. And we got murdered all season long. You should have seen the look on my son's face halfway through that first game. He's like, what is happening here? Surprise, son. That's how basketball is supposed to be played. This is where you're supposed to be, son. This is the level where you're supposed to be. And that's what we learned playing UConn. We learned if we want to be an elite basketball program, and I have no idea if that's a thing for us. Winning the Sun Belt, that's pretty good. I'll take that. For women's basketball, I will take that. But listen, if you want to be elite, UConn showed us what that was. Height, speed, finishing beneath the rim. What UConn did for us is say, hey, if you want to be a great team, this is what you got to do. And our players are probably looking at that and go, yeah, I got to elevate my game. The coach is like, yes, I got to elevate my game. So thanks for that lesson, UConn. Much appreciated.